Good morning, George. This is Ian from Speak Your Mind in Verona, or should I say, Speak Your Mind, as you point out. I want to be short and sweet here, at least short. I'm not good at being sweet all the time, but you make some very important points. I think, first of all, the point you make about how so many of us have learnt at school being such a terribly painful and unproductive experience. Of course, this does show that, despite what people thought in the old days, these days people really do need to learn a language for lots of reasons. You talk about wanting to make friends, that's one very good reason. Of course, there are many others. Economic necessity, lots of good reasons for doing it. So of course, when people do invest their time and their money, I'm talking here about obviously adults primarily, on a course, they want to learn, they want to enjoy it as much as possible. And I think this perhaps is where the essence maybe of Speak Your Mind comes in. You talk about total physical response. That has that wonderful sort of primitive appeal. I think you'll find in many classrooms around the world, elementary schools, junior schools, intuitively a lot of teachers apply that. It's great. Commands, actions, jump, there's a lot of impact there. The memory is working at a very deep level, lots of associations. That's limited. You can only go so far with that kind of classroom format. You'd be hard pushed to develop a range of commands that can teach the sort of English that adults perhaps in a working situation are going to need. You talk about the logic of a language. You can't ignore that. If you are discussing something with someone, if you are writing a letter or what have you, the brain has to function in a logical way as well. So I don't want to get too stuck in this left-right divide. You're quite right. There is a mixture. I think Speak Your Mind is a blend of things. The appeal of the course, I think, is that it does follow a rational learning program. We're dealing with adults, we're not children. I think there's a danger in making too strong a link between L1, the language we all learn as growing infants and children, and L2, the language that we decide to learn as adults who have experience. We have another language already. There are common points perhaps between how we learn languages. No one knows, it's a mystery, so it's all speculation and intuition in the end. But of course we do also in the meantime have the thousands of learning experiences that help us approach a new learning experience in a certain way. So I don't think we should rely too far on the similarities between a second language and a first language. We're thinking intelligent adults. And I think what Speak Your Mind does, it approaches people like that. It says, you can think about this, you can switch into intelligent learner mode, you can focus on these, but at the same time, it does have a kind of spontaneity, a naturalness, which does lower that filter that you talk about. It does have a level of playfulness, which I think, of course, is such an important thing in a learning environment. It is a kind of game. People respond to that game, and that heightens their learning awareness, I feel. A lot, of course, will depend not just on the methodology, not just on the material, but that has to be fitted into place. It will depend very much on the ability of the teacher to work within those and to trigger that interest. So what's happening in the classroom is not simply a logical idea that is being approached, it's working in memory at different levels. A variety of impressions, a variety of impact is being made there, which will help learning become a lasting process. Now, that perhaps wasn't so short or so sweet as I wanted, but okay, we're not going to stop here, are we, George? Thank you very much. Bye-bye.